Hello everyone, my name is Nuno. Today we're back with F1 2018 Grand Prix of the Hungarian Grand Prix in season number 2 with McLaren. As always, you can see it's going to be clear for both sessions, both qualifying and the race. You can see the performance parts. We're so far ahead of the nearest challenger, which is Red Bull. We're almost as far ahead of Red Bull as Red Bull is of Mercedes or Force India or something, which means that in the practice sessions we're almost a second ahead in the qualifying programs, which is an absolutely insane gap you have right there. So maybe it's time to move to another team after this season. So we'll see how it's going to go. But let's get into qualifying here for the Hungarian Grand Prix. So here we are in the garage for the qualifying session. You can see we have a bit of a fault on 2.5 minutes, which we've had for the last couple of qualifying sessions. So we'll kind of have to wait that one out. Also, you might notice that this video is a bit longer, and yes, I'm gonna make the videos a bit longer in Korean mode because I've gotten requests to make them between 10 and 15 minutes. So the next one's gonna be 13.5 minutes. It's Spa, and I can tell you already that one is gonna be insane. Uploading later today. You can see coming around our first flying lap. It was okay, it was not too bad, you know, we're coming over the line for a 1 minute 15.7, so when I say it's not too bad, it was actually pretty bad. It wasn't a very, very good lap. You can see we're dropping down the order to third, down to fourth, behind our teammate eventually, so we'll have to go out with 20 seconds remaining. We get out. The track is so much better at this moment, because so many have driven on it in the qualifying session on new fresh rubbers, so that means that we might at least be a couple of tenths faster, which is what we need to get pole. So this lap was a flying lap, of course. It was flying around this lap. I absolutely love Hungary. It's such a high downforce circuit, and it is an amazing circuit. It's fun to drive around unless you run 1/6 swings, which I did in practice, so I freaked out. And we're going to cut over the line, and we're going to qualify in third place. Third place behind Alonso and Ricardo, yes. And second place, so we're going to start on the second front row, which is... wow, that's unexpected that a Red Bull is going faster than us. You can see Max Verstappen right behind us. The Red Bulls have so much more pace than they did in qualifying. There was just, maybe they're sandbagged or something. And take a look at the rivalries. You can see it's getting very, very tense there between me and Vettel. And maybe we can catch up to Alonso and make it a draw. And maybe even win that rivalry, which we would be looking forward to if we could do that. So we can get some more resource points. Of course, the R&D reset would be coming up very, very soon. If it is going to come up around Singapore, or it was Singapore last season. But let's get into the race here for the Hungarian Grand Prix.
We've seen some astonishing Grand Prix here over the years, haven't we? The drama of 2015 is a recent example. Jenson Button's first win on a wet track in 2006, or in 1997, Damon Hill's heartbreak in the Arrows after a late gearbox failure cost him what would have been the team's only ever victory. What a wonderful place this is to come racing today. Located 12 miles northeast of the Hungarian capital Budapest, the 14 corners of the Hungaro Ring are steeped in history and prestige. Overtaking has always been difficult on this technical 2.7-mile circuit, but the last few years in particular have turned up some exceptional races. Let's hope we're in for another one here today. With me to enjoy it all is Anthony Davidson, a man who made his Grand Prix debut here with Minardi back in 2002. So, Ant, this is a bit of a special one for you, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I'd say so. I also stood in to commentate on Jenson's win in 2006, and as I was a test driver for Honda at the time, you can imagine that was quite an emotional Grand Prix. It's also a tough circuit on the drivers, this one too. Lots of long, slow corners that require a lot of patience from inside the car. Plus, it's a very downforce-heavy circuit. I mean, it's all relative, of course, but if you're lacking a bit in downforce, or if you've got a bit of an imbalance in the setup, this is definitely one of the worst places to have to deal with that.
Thank you for that introduction. So, talking about tire wear, we're gonna go from the ultra soft. We're gonna go for undercut onto the soft tires later in the race around lap 3. So we're coming on to the far red lights here on the starting grid, and the lights are underway for 18 laps around the the Hungaroring. We get off to an absolute banger start there in comparison to Ricardo. We pull into behind the slipstream of Ricardo. Maybe there's a gap down the inside. Yes, there is. We go down the inside of turn one of two cars there. They almost touch, and we go into first place just after just one corner there. Alonso's been overtaken as well by Verstappen there, who followed us behind right there. So Ricardo and Alonso has lost. Alonso's lost 3 positions, and Ricardo's lost 1, while me and Verstappen just slipped through, which is a great start for us, and go of course for third. Up into first. So now we're just going to want to pull out in the front, get a couple of good, consistent and fast laps in at the moment. And hopefully we can do that here as we are riding on board with Verstappen. You can see we've already made a little bit of a gap there into the chicane. But we're going to want to make that gap even bigger, of course, when the ultra soft tires that we have used for one flying lap and one out lap. So the tire wear won't be too bad. I think we're gonna go. We're on the undercut strategy together with some other people. So on lap 1 here, we set the fastest lap, which is pretty logical. But you can see we've pulled out a little bit of a gap on Verstappen there, just over 1 second after just one lap, which is quite a nice thing. And maybe we can just cruise home to get a first place, nice and easy first place. Excuse me if I say something bad or say something stupid, but I was up at 4 a.m. this morning because I wanted to watch WEC, so I am like extremely tired right now when I'm commentating this. Not when I recorded it, but when I'm commentating this, I'm quite tired as I went to go-kart right after, so if I miss a word here and there, just please forgive me. Oh no, you know what? No, don't forgive me. As we're coming into the pits here on lap number 4. For the soft tires, we're trying to go for the undercut. We're in together with a couple of other people, but Verstappen and Alonso stays out on the ultra soft tires just to stretch them for one more lap. So we might be on the undercut, but I expect to come out in first place because we were over a second ahead when we came into the pits, almost 2 seconds. But we're rejoining in traffic right behind Sergei Sirotkin, which might end up holding us up, but I don't believe it's going to be 1.5 to 2 seconds that he is going to hold us up, because he's not that slow, but he's like very slow in comparison to our car. You can see he just holds us up right there, so we're almost hitting to the back of them, but we don't have to make too much dramas there. Fernando Alonso and Verstappen is coming in for the soft tire. I think it's the same strategy as us, as we're doing. And yes, it is, and we're gonna rejoin way in front of them. We've gone for like a kind of undercut strategy. We run wide there, trying to go past Sergei Sirotkin, so for the frame rate lag right there's one ball with Fernando Alonso, who's behind the 2 Red Bulls, kind of stuck behind the 2 Red Bulls. As I said, they had so much pace in qualifying it, but not in practice. Actually, it was such a surprise that they were so fast, because they're quite far behind on the development charges. So maybe it's just me and Fernando Alonso who's underperforming the car. I doubt that, because I was 7 to 8 tenths ahead, and you can see down there in the last sector you have one of the Toro Rossos, looks like, that has pulled over to the side of, I think it is Brendan Hartley who has done that. As you can see, we run wide there, but there's just a yellow flag, you know, like a sector yellow flag, like a caution thing. And yes, it is truly one of the Toro Rossos. It's Brendan Hartley who's pulled out there with an engine issue. It was nothing dramatic, nothing like a crash or anything. And there you have it, the nice pronouncing of Jeff's Verstappen behind. I love how he pronounces that, but yes, Verstappen behind and Ricciardo behind him. And as I said, the Red Bulls have had an insane pace, which wasn't kind of expected coming into some of our other title rivals, the Mercedes and the Ferraris. Of course, this would look completely normal in our real-life world with the Mercedes and the Ferraris driving around in the front, but they're actually quite far behind. They're fighting for 1 and 2 points down in the heavy end of the top 10 and 11th place and stuff like that. So we just had a very very fast virtual safety car. It was really nothing. I don't know if it was just debris that was somewhere on the track or anything, but there wasn't any retirements or anything, so I don't really know why that one was there. This game seems to be kind of trolling with some of those virtual safety cars that are just pulling out out of nowhere. And if I try to troll us and be like, hey, there's a virtual safety car, but there's no retirements or no anything, which I don't really understand. It's probably like a glitch, because there was nothing at all. I didn't find anything, and it's getting kind of a standard that we have these half-lap safety cars, virtual safety cars. that does nothing but to slow us down, slow the race down. Maybe it's just they want more time to go before the race ends, which is absolutely stupid. But here we are on the last lap, the last sector, the last corner, to come home to claim a dominant performance here in Hungary for 18th place. And it was an over-dominant performance, really. I think we finished like 3 seconds, at least 3 seconds ahead of the nearest one, which was Max Verstappen, who we were actually surrounded on the podiums by 2 Red Bulls right there. Fernando Alonso down in 4th place, so he went from pole to 4th. We went from 3rd to 1st, which is going to give us quite a large bit in that rivalry right there. And you can see we're going to catch up to him, so now we're only 6 points behind him in the championship standing. So it's getting closer and closer. We're just halfway through this season, only 6 points apart, which is not a lot at all. And you can see the rivalry there getting very, very close. Actually, with Fernando Alonso, the rivalry, if I qualify him in Spa in the next race, we're gonna draw if he outqualifies us. So it's like a run. It's like a 2-horse run for that rivalry right there. We're only gonna be managing to do a draw, not to win the championship, not to win it by now, because it's going to be ended by the next qualifying session in Spa. But I hope you enjoyed this video. We're just going to do a short contract negotiation right before we end this video. We want some better contract perks, of course, so we're going to see what we can do. But I'm going to make these career mode videos a little bit longer, because I have gotten requests from it from some people in the racing community. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I certainly did. Not the most dramatic Grand Prix, but I'm sorry, it can't be like that every single race. But next time in Spa, we'll be looking to make up even more points on Fernando Alonso. I hope you enjoyed this video. I certainly did. And I'll see you all in the next one. Remember to like and subscribe and all that. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.